Hi kids. Okay, made it. 1933. First movie, score, not reusing anyone else's work. All the work of one composer, scored to the screen, to the action on the screen. 1933's King Kong. So King Kong is the brainchild of Marion C. Cooper. He was a very interesting guy, had a thirst for adventure his whole life. Becomes a pilot in World War One. His plane gets shot down over Germany, and he gets taken as a German prisoner of war. But lucky for him, it's right at the tail end of the war. And then he is flying aid for Poland, flying in supplies and stuff, which isn't that much, or not the adventure that he's looking for. But eventually, he gets in some action for the Polish Air Force and gets shot down again, this time over Russia. The Russians are not as nice to him as the Germans were. The Germans treated his wounds. He had burned his hands. His co-pilot was pretty badly injured, and the doctors took care of them. Russia, he's set to work on a railroad. The other prisoners are dropping dead beside him, and their bodies are just left out in the snow. So he and another prisoner decide that they are going to escape. They escape, and they walk their way out of Russia. After that, he meets Ernest Shorstack, which will be his partner for pretty much all the movies he makes. Ernest directs them. They're all his brainchilds. But first they go to the New York Times. He gets a job as a reporter. Ernest is a photographer. They go to Ethiopia. The king of Ethiopia lets them film his army out in the field. They make a documentary. Marion sees the wildlife there and gets fascinated with shooting them at low angles to make them look bigger. And he wants to control what's going on. He doesn't want to just make a story and not have it. He wants to make it sensational, right? So, around 1927, Komodo Dragons come to the States. They're not really known to the Western world prior to then. About 1910, there's reports of them. Soon after that, someone has like the skin of Komodo dragon. Eventually they capture them, bring them to the States, put them in the zoo, and he gets the idea for what if he made a movie about a group of gorillas fighting a group of Komodo dragons. And then I think around 1930, the Empire State Building is built, and he's fascinated with gorillas his whole life. And then he has the idea for what if a giant gorilla climbs the world's tallest building, because that's what the Empire State Building was when it was built. He and Ernest make 2 movies with Fay Wray, the star of King Kong, before King Kong comes out. One of them is The Most Dangerous Game, which has been remade a couple times. The other one is Four Feathers, which has also been remade a couple times. The special effects work on King Kong took so long that between filming King Kong and the release of it, Fay Wray was able to go and film 2 horror movies. Dr. X and The Mystery of the Wax Museum. Both of those are directed by Michael Curtis, the director of Casablanca. Okay, so where are we? The special effects work is done by Willis O'Brien. So Willis O'Brien got interested in dinosaurs when he was a tour guide. He was giving a tour to some paleontologists. He became interested in dinosaurs, and he was a cartoonist, and he liked to draw before that. So he draws dinosaurs, and he makes sculptures of them. Eventually, he catches the eye of a guy named Thomas Edison. You might have heard of him. So Edison basically makes some stop motion dinosaur movies for him. And then he works on The Lost World, which is adaptation of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's novel. And Arthur Conan Doyle is so impressed with his work that he shows some of the footage to his friends and tries to tell them that it's real and that his story was based on fact and these are real dinosaurs. So he does the special effects work on King Kong, which the Academy then wants to give him an Academy Award for. And he says that he'll accept if they provide statues for all of his crew that helped him do the effects. The Academy says no. And so he says, no, I won't accept the award. He eventually does get one for Mighty Joe Young. One of his proteges was Ray Harryhausen, who does the stop motion effect work for Jason and the Argonauts and Clash of the Titans. And, most importantly, has a restaurant named after him in Monsters, Inc. That matters. There's some dispute. Marion Cooper says that when he told Fay Wray about the picture, that he told her he wanted her to have blonde hair in it because he wanted the audience to be able to see her against King Kong, who's holding her and such. Fay Wray says he told her about it and it was her idea and she immediately went out and looking for blonde wigs. So he said, she said, literally. Looking at my notes here, what else do I got? So this is the movie that saved RKO. Just like when I was talking about Universal Pictures, it's the Great Depression. RKO was going under. MGM offered to buy the movie from them for $400,000 more than the total cost of producing the movie. And RKO wisely said no, and it paid off for them because it was quite a big success. Looking over my notes, see if I missed anything. Not much. At one point, like there's rumors that there's scenes where it's just somebody in a gorilla suit. Marion Cooper was never interested in that idea. That's not correct. Actually, his original idea was he wanted to go to Africa and capture a gorilla and bring it back and film it. But no studio was willing to pay for that. It seemed a little expensive. Yeah, so that is King Kong. I think the stop motion kind of holds up compared to some of the CGI these days. That's that. Next, we will go a little bit backwards in time, a year, and talk about White Zombie, first zombie movie, and then where should we go from there? Thanks, guys. Like, subscribe, do it. Talk to you later.